Well, everybody, is my microphone working? Hi, everyone. I'm trying to figure out how to add another screen. Okay. All right. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. I'm going to give a chance for everybody to get in here. I'm going to give everybody a chance to get in here. If you'd like to join me on the panel, you can do so by I pinned the link to the top of the page. Uh, so I don't know. I'm waiting on folks to come in. It's Halloween. It's Halloween, guys. And this here's my baby lamb. Her got all dressed up and went out trick. It's buffering. I don't know why it's buffering. All right. Anybody over here yet? Well, they're not expecting me till 9 o'clock. So I went a little early so that I could see how the late I've done this before. So okay. I don't know how I can tell if anybody's here or not. Hmm. Okay. I actually have 4 minutes. Okay. All right. I'm going to invite some people. Oh, he doesn't do Facebook. I don't know who else to invite. All right. Here we go. I'm going to turn my camera on. Well, hello, everyone. It's time to party. We should party. Hello, Nobby. Hey, come up and join me on the panel. Okay? I do want to show you all my puppy dog. That's my little lamb. That's baby, all dressed up in her Halloween costume. Yes, well, good morning, Nobby. I know it's morning, but it's nighttime for me. Okay, I'm going to get everybody. This here's baby. I just wanted to show you. Okay. All right, everyone. Now, I'm going to show you my costume. Okay, I dressed up because I thought it was summer. It was wishful thinking. It's 30 some degrees outside, and I'm dreaming of Florida babysitting weather. Yeah.
What you say, Mama Mona?
Hello, Ray. How are you?
I am good, dear. How are you? Happy Halloween.
Yes, I'm all dressed up, you know. I got my costume on.
I see that. I see that. I see that. Yeah, you
Uh,
just catching me
hey,
out.
hey, wait a minute. You ain't seen it from the back.
You were just a hoot.
Well, my little dearies, it's time to party.
Well, I'm glad you're
Halloween
having
is
fun.
here. Huh?
I'm glad you're having fun.
You know what? Guess who I got to invite to come to my show today?
Who was that?
How about General Flynn?
Really?
Yeah, I invited him to come and do the pledge to open the show.
Well, isn't that awesome?
He's in town with the Wall of Honor.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and I managed to get a letter off to him today requesting that, and his friend that I gave the letter to, okay, took a screenshot of it, sent it to him right away. He says
Right.
he's in town. He'll love to do that. I said, well, you convince him it's for vets, and he's in town, and I just need him for. I'd love for him to stay for the whole show. I'll give him a seat, but I really think it would be really cool for him to call the color guard to order and then come in and say the pledge. I just think that would be icing on my cake. Yep, sure would.
I know it would, but I just wanted to stop in here. I got some things cooking up on the burner, and I'm about to go live. I got some things hooked up, but I wanted to stop by and say hello.
Okay, well, you tell folks to stop by and say hi to me tonight. You see, I only drink 2 days a year. New Year's Eve, and
Uh-huh.
I drank that much of my bottle on New Year's Eve. And tonight I will finish it.
Somebody's having a party.
I'd only do it 2 days a year.
Well, you have fun.
I'm going to have a blast, and you have a great one too. Are you going to be able to make it to the event?
I'm not sure. I'm not promising. I'm still working. I haven't been nowhere, and it's been depressing. But I'm each day that goes by is a day closer. So when I'm able to get out there, I will daggone sure be there.
Well, I'll tell you what. It looks like we might have a Hollywood film crew in the theater for my first big stage Hootenanny show.
Well, it
They'll
sounds
be
like it's
filming
coming
my
together.
talkers.
It sounds
Yeah,
like it's
it
coming
is.
together.
It is. It really is. And the weather, oh my goodness, it's going to be above about 75, and on the picnic day, it's going to be 80 degrees and
Well, good
dry.
deal.
Ain't that
Good
cool?
deal.
Good Lord gave me perfect weather all week long. So
Well,
according to the
good.
forecast, they can change. But anyway, what do you think of my costume?
I love it. I love it. Well, you have fun, Mama Mona, and we will
You
talk to
too,
you.
dear.
God
All right.
bless.
Bye bye. All right, Dobby, get up here. It's pinned up. The link is pinned to the top up here. Hello, Nobby.
Hey up. I just have to take my echo off. I'll be with you in a second.
How you doing? Hey, it's going to be a great evening. And before I hit this bottle, yeah, I even got me a special Halloween shot glass.
Oh. Is it Mexican? Oh.
So it's Halloween over there still, or it's after Halloween. It's the 1st of November over there, isn't it?
We're waiting for 5th Guy Fawkes.
Huh?
We don't really do Halloween in England.
You don't?
Not really. We do Guy Fawkes and Mischievous Night on 4th.
Oh, it's Mischievous Night, huh?
On the 4th.
On the 4th.
yet, then it's bonfire night on the 5th. But I've just done a sort of fairy fantasy ending to one of my videos today, which will be up on YouTube in about an hour's time.
Now you keep getting soft and loud and soft and loud.
Yeah, because I'm rocking about because I'm nervous.
Ah,
I'll bring it closer to me. Is that better?
that's much better. Yes, yes.
Right,
Yes.
yeah, no.
So what do you think of my costume?
Yeah, it's beaut. I didn't know you had an ass like that though.
And look at this. A finger too. I even got my own book. Yes, sirree. I was kind of hoping some more people would come in. I invited a bunch. Belly dancing that I can't belly dance anymore. I used to. I was a professional belly dancer. I got paid to belly dance.
Have you got it on VHS so I can watch it again?
Huh?
Have you got it on VHS?
No, I don't have it on VHS. You know, it was
Was that
on
when you were-
Polaroid.
Was that when you were in your 20s or when you were a teenager or something?
Actually, I was about 27, 26, 27 when I started as a dancer. Got a job paying me as a dancer. I've been a dancer since before I could walk, but I actually got paid to dance. So
It's like me getting paid to smoke.
yeah, right. Yeah, I got paid to dance, and the thing is the problem is on my that's pretty. On my days off, guess where I went?
Dancing.
Dancing. Yeah. 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 It's like a judge going to court on his day off, Well, get this party started here. I've got that much to drink before I go to bed. So I'm going to pop the top on this. Pour me a shot. Well, almost a shot. There's a shot. Yeah, right there. Okay.
I'm drinking tea at the moment with
I think I'll finish this cigarette first.
cheese butter
Huh?
and a spliff. I've got a cup of tea, cheese butter and a spliff.
Oh, I like the logo, Nobby.
That's my logo. Design.
Is that your new logo?
Yeah. I put it on all my new films now.
I like it. Oh, okay. That's cool.
If I can find the film that I made.
Is there any more people in here? You're in here, say something in chat, folks, so I know you're here. So it looks like Nobby, it's a party between you and me.
Oh.
But it's probably a little early for you to party, right?
It's 2:10 in the morning.
Huh?
It's 2:10 in the morning.
Yeah. Oh. Oh. Oh, really?
I'm waiting.
It's the perfect time. 2:30 in the morning sounds like the perfect
time. I've got tea, cheese sandwich, and I'm waiting for a video to upload.
Well, I'm thinking that I ought to get ready to at least drink a little bit of this. I usually just down it, okay? And it takes me about 15 minutes to get totally, completely flat, stupid, soft. Yeah, I don't drink. I mean, I'll get,
I don't.
woo. Yeah, by the time I finish that, I will have, but can't drink it without a little salt and lemon. To drink tequila straight is not easy, but it never makes me sick. Oh, okay. What's that? Tea.
Have some
Tea.
Earl Grey tea, yeah.
Earl Grey tea. Okay. You're drinking tea and I'm drinking tequila. You drink tea and I'll drink tequila. Okay. So here we come. You know, there was no over the lips, through the teeth, down the throat. Look out, stomach. Oh, okay. Salt. Tequila. And lemon. Oh. Well, the show's coming on beautifully. Okay. We went today and we went through the stage, what the curtains are going to be and the lights are going to do. And I found out that a 60-foot transom swallows me. You know, if you're up there all by yourself or one person there with nothing behind you. So we had to decide how to build our set so that that stage wouldn't be so empty. So we did all that today. And I got the opportunity to actually invite General Flynn to come and do the Pledge of Allegiance. He's in town, going to be in town for the whole of that week. So I asked him if he could come by at 6 o'clock on the 9th and grace us with his presence and give us the Pledge of Allegiance. So,
yeah. Talking of grace, talking of stage setups, that's the last stage setup I did was for Grace Jones in Manchester.
Oh, really?
And she had a lovely lift which we made out of a forklift and the box that came out of the bottom of the stairs.
Well, I'm doing a sitting by the river camp seat. It's a hootenanny, gathered around a fire pit kind of thing. That way I can put all the entertainers on stage. Huh?
Like a tent festival sort of place, or is it in a building?
Yeah, kind of like a festival feeling, you know, with picnic tables and a campfire and a view of the lake, you know, as the sun goes down, kind of like that you got up there right now.
Is it your first year of doing it?
Huh?
Is it your first year of doing it?
It's my first show ever to produce it.
All right. Crikey.
Yes. And if it turns out... Huh?
You've been brave.
Well, no, it's been on my bucket list for eons, okay? And I'm finally getting the opportunity on it's the second largest stage in Branson. It's huge. Okay. It seats 1,900 people.
Yeah.
It's got a 60-foot transom and a depth of over 100 feet.
Yeah, I think it was about 600 to 700 at Grace Jones.
Yeah,
so
it's got a Yeah, it's got a 20-foot by 60-foot transom.
What's a
So
transom? I don't know. I don't know what you said there.
a transom, the opening for the stage is 20 feet high and 60 feet wide.
Oh, the curtain thing. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So it's a big stage. And I get to produce it. I have a great director. I have a great sound man. I have a great backstage director person. I've got some great people working with me, and I've my cloggers were going to back out because they had a contract with a film company to do a documentary. And I told her, I said, no. You tell your documentary people that they can come in and film the cloggers dancing on this huge stage in front of all these vets and put that in a can. They don't have to film a documentary in order. And at some point, they're going to want to film the cloggers actually clogging.
Dancers in America.
Huh?
You got clog dancers in America.
Yes, clog dancing is very, very, very famous in America.
All right.
So
I
this
thought
particular
it was mainly Amsterdam, places like that, Europe.
no, we have what we call country clogging. It's not quite like Irish clogging. Okay, it's more a square dance clog
Oh yeah,
or a
yeah.
show clog. But these young people are headed for nationals, so they're doing a documentary on them. And the thing is that I know if I was a person doing a documentary on clogging, and I had an opportunity to film the cloggers on this huge stage in front of 1,900 vets, you better bet I'm going to get it on the film. I'm going to do it because they don't have to pay for the theater. They don't have to pay for the lighting or the sound or nothing. They can just come in and film it and use it in their documentary. Well, if they had said no, she'd have called me back. They must not have said no because she didn't realize that the documentary, it can be filmed. They can do interviews with the kids. That's what they were going to do on the 9th when they called her. I said they can do those anytime, but they can only film them on a big stage in Branson this time and not have to pay theater costs and sound, just come in and film it. I think that's cool.
Yeah, it's brilliant. That have you ever heard of Archaeos? A French troupe.
Huh?
Have you ever heard of Archaeos?
No.
ARCHOAS. It was back in the 90s. It was a
Now
big,
these kids,
French group of daredevils and sword swallowers and tightrope walkers and car crashing and bike crashing and stuff like that. I used to be part of them back in the 90s in London, where we did. Do you know what's it called? Battersea Power Station, the old power station in London. I think it's now been turned into something else. But while it was all like sort of cleared out and that, we used the whole Battersea Power Station, put a tent in there. I rode my motorbike through the stage, through the big tent at the beginning. So we had a motorcycle parade at the beginning, all pulling wheelies and stuff at the beginning. Then we get these clowns coming in with what do you call them things? What are they called? Angle grinders. And they'd wear metal sheets on the chest and the legs, and spark the angle grinders up and down their arms and the legs and the things. Crazy people. Circuses are brilliant, aren't they? And that's a similar type of thing you're doing next today. Is it? You doing
that? No, mine is a total gospel and patriotic music show.
Yeah,
it's
stuff,
entertainers from all over Branson, from different shows in Branson. A lot of the backup singers. It's not a lot of the stars, but it's the other entertainers in Branson. There are some stars. Bobby Allen has his own show. He's an Elvis impersonator. And David Brooks is in 4 shows. And Christy Meadows, she's on the road a lot, but she's here for this. There's me. And then there's Daniel Keaton. He was with the Ball Knobbers for a while. He's a tenor. He does with the tenor show. He's looking at, he's in the show. He's my straight man on the comedy stuff, as well as one of the singers. I've got Steve Spurgeon, and he's going to be there. And he's got a show here next year in Branson at the Hot Hits. So, then I've got Rick Beasley. He's a vet and a local entertainer. I don't know. I've got several on here that, I mean, I have a list. It's a 4-hour show, so it's a lot of singing. We got the dancing, the singing. We got some recitations and some special commemorative stuff that we're doing. In fact, at 7:55 our time, we will receive a phone call from the Gulag Jail in Washington, D.C., where our J6ers sing the national anthem every night at 9 p.m. New York to our Washington, D.C. time. And we will all be singing the national anthem with our prisoners of war. And that's going to be kind of cool too.
People in the Gulag, they've got audio to get to you.
Well, they got access to a telephone.
Okay.
Yeah, right. And we'll be able to hear them, and they'll be able to hear us all singing with them too.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I get it.
That's going to be a touching moment in the show, I really believe. And then there's but it's a life's dream of mine to produce my own show. And it's called The Cousin Jesse Hootenanny. And if it goes over well, me and the theater owner are talking about us being able to do a Hootenanny show once a week next year, all season.
Just give me 2 seconds to translate that. Hootenanny, what was it?
A Hootenanny is a gathering, a happy celebration gathering of people. Okay?
A hoot.
Is a Hootenanny.
Hooten.
Yeah, HOOTENANNY, if you want to look it up. It's called a Hootenanny.
Oh. I'm learning American.
And a Hootenanny is a gathering or a celebration, according to Webster's dictionary.
Is Webster's dictionary something to do with the American dictionary or something? I don't think I've even heard of that dictionary.
Any dictionary. I would think you can find it in Cambridge. You can find it in Webster. You can find it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm Cousin Jesse. Okay, that my character is Cousin Jesse. That character that walks around in that funny hat with all the flags on it, that's Cousin Jesse. And so we named the show The Cousin Jesse Hootenanny.
Cousin Jesse's or Jenny.
And if I do it next year, the sets I had to. Yeah, it's a Hootenanny. That's what it's called, a Hootenanny. Like a nanny, like a babysitter or a nanny.
Yeah. Hootenanny. Okay.
And a hoot is to have fun. It's oh my goodness, that was such a hoot. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a Hootenanny.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is that normally if I do the show next year, the whole show will take place in a barn. But this year, the whole show's going to take place on the lake.
Lake dance rather than a barn dance.
Huh?
Lake dance rather than a barn dance.
I didn't understand dum dum.
So you're having a lake
The last two
dance.
words didn't get to me right.
You're having a lake dance rather than a barn
Yes, we're
dance.
having a lake dance. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. It's so well, it was a way to quickly come up with a set without building it. Okay. They already had some yellow risers. Well, those yellow risers are about to become hay bales. Something for the dancers to sit on. And then
For
I
these
got two
dancers.
picnic tables. Got a fire pit, an artificial fire pit thing for the stage, and we're going to use some lawn chairs. You know,
If your lake was
picnic
frozen, you
chairs.
could dance like these lot.
Yeah, but it's just going to be a picture of the lake on the big screen in the back. Okay, we got a big projector screen that takes up the whole stage in the back, so we're going to be projecting the cabin and a view of the lake with the sun going down for the opening of the show. For the closing of the show, we got a flag curtain that drops all the way down, and it's the entire 20 feet by 60 feet flag. We got that. We're still in the market for a couple of logs. I'd like a couple of stumps. I got a water can that's going to go on the stage. And then my big teddy bear that we're raffling off, he's going to find a prominent spot in the stage. Guitar stand here and there. Just it's kind of like a lake party with singing, campfire singing, campfire storytelling, And I thought of that. We thought of that because of the convoy. With the convoy, we were camping. As we traveled across this country, we camped, and so I thought for the convoy of honor, a good camping scene might be a good scene to fill the stage. I don't need this blank stage. I don't. It's just too big. It's overwhelming. So we're gonna make it happen. But it's been about 4 hours in the theater today, looking at everything we got to do, and I'm going to be totally worn out. And I'm going to be talking to people all day, the 5th and the 6th and the 7th. I'm going to be cooking all day all morning of the 8th. And then I've got that big sit down dinner at that 6 p.m. on the 8th, where I'm going to do some more talking. I'm just asking the Lord to please let me have vocal cords for my show.
I put something in private chat for you that you might be interested in. You don't have to watch it. You can listen to it like a radio show. It's about an hour and 15 minutes though. I won't mention what its title is. You can read it. It took me a day and a half to watch it.
All right, I can't.
But it is pretty in depth and pretty interesting, if you know what I'm saying. It's all for the cause.
Thank you. Guys, you mean? No, I really don't.
Just take a look, then you'll know what I mean. Come back to us in a couple of days and see what you think of it.
Yes, Larry. Hi, Larry. How are you? And I can't get to private chat. I don't know why, but for some reason I can't get to it on here. Hey, babe, how you been? I know. I'm just Larry. It's Halloween. As you well know, my mama passed away on Halloween. And my mama was a drunk. So, in celebration of my mother, on Halloween, I get drunk.
It's the only time you drink then, Mana.
I drink on my mom and dad's anniversary, which is New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
And then I drink on the death of Halloween was my mother and I's favorite holiday. Yeah. And she made it a point to die on Halloween at 12 noon so that she could attend my Halloween party in my jail cell. Okay? And she was there. She showed up. Believe me, I know. Okay? And so every year on Halloween, because it was our favorite holiday, I had a Halloween party every year of my life until the last 2 years because I've been involved with the convoy. Okay? But I normally have a Halloween party every year. And next year, I'm going to have a Halloween party. Hopefully, next year, I'm going to be able to have me a gospel Halloween in the theater.
In a real building.
Yeah. With a 60-foot by 20-foot transom. That's a huge stage. Seating 1,900 seats in the theater. You can even add a few more if you needed them. Okay? Great, big, huge lobby. Okay? Huge parking lot. And right across the street in walking distance, okay, is the Sports Bar and Grill. Okay? Serves Mexican food, pretty good Mexican food, if I say so myself. And it's within walking distance. I went over there and informed them today that I'm having this show. We're having this stroll. And I'm going to encourage people to stay within walking distance because of the traffic in Branson. And I would like them to come over here and eat at your restaurant. She said, what? I said, yeah. I said, I have no idea how long my convoy may be because the public's invited to join the convoy. Okay? It's not just a special group of people. It's open to the public. Anybody wants to get in the convoy, line up with us, fly a flag, honk a horn, and follow that flag in front of you. Okay? It is very patriotic. It's being done in what is designated, Branson, Missouri is designated the most patriotic city in the United States by declaration. And there will be 250,000 vets in Branson during Veterans Week. Vets or families of vets, wives, whatever. But there will be 250,000 estimated patriots in this town. And that's basing it on the number of rooms rented, the numbers of beds rented. That doesn't really count campgrounds and RV parks, which there is a plethora of them here. It's the week that we switch from the seasonal to the Christmas shows. So all the shows are new. They got their new Christmas format. And people that live 30 miles away, like Springfield, there was 5,000 people estimated on the overpass when the convoy came through Springfield, Missouri. Now, all of them people live within driving distance of Springfield, Missouri. If they live within driving distance of Springfield, they pretty near live within driving distance of Branson. They don't have to have a motel or a campsite because they're 30 minutes, 40 minutes from home. And there's a lot of people around here. And in the paper, I've invited them all. And I'm going to go over and risk my vocal cords because God will take care of them. I know He will. And I'm going to go over and I'm going to put my arms around the neck of every vet that comes into this town between the 5th and the 8th. And I'm going to tell each and every one of them, come get in my stroll. Let's show our patriotism. And I'm going to ask each and every one of them to come to my show. But remember, get your tickets early because there's only 1,900 seats in this here theater. And I have 125 of those seats already reserved. And the best advertising in this town is word of mouth. And I'm going to go use my mouth and pass out the word for 3 solid days. All day long, 3 solid days. I'll do nothing but hug vets and their wives and invite them to my show personally. And I'll be inviting them to the potluck picnic. It is a state park. And I did pay for that pavilion. But that state park belongs to the people. Okay? And we can fill that park up. It's a lake and everything else. I even got some paddle boats. The pedally kind of paddle boats. I got 2 of them. Yeah. The use of them donated for the day of the picnic. I got somebody to donate the volleyballs for the day of the picnic. In fact, I'm trying to talk Dr. Wright into coming on out. She is a volleyball coach, coming on out and doing some volleyball coaching on the day of the event. Okay? We got somebody's got one of them cornhole games. They're going to put up a cornhole tournament. We got karaoke or lip syncing, your choice, inside the pavilion. We got a fire pit with a concrete wall all the way around it, so you can sit on the wall and it collects the heat. Got a playground for the kids to play right there in view of the pavilion, so we can keep an eye on them kids. And the public's invited. Okay? Now, when we reach capacity, well, that's okay. You know, that Showboat Branson Bell parking lot over there, it never gets totally full. Use it. What are they going to say? You vets can't park in our parking lot and during Veterans Week? I don't think so. I don't think Jack Hershing would do that. It's just for one day. Not like you're using it to live on. There's a way. It's just going to be one of those spontaneous get-togethers. Yeah, it's called a Patriot Picnic. Open to the public. Now, I got some vendors. They're going to come and sell some signs and things. I got some fudge for sale. And Lord willing, and I break myself down and go get those canvases, I'll have some paintings for sale.
Here's a picture of my local river with boats on it.
Your what?
My local river.
Oh, really?
That's the river.
Oh, that's nice.
Right next to the witches, just to the left in the corner, on the other side of the river, there's a cave where one of the first witches lived, called Mother Shipton. Have you ever heard of her?
Oh, really?
Mother Shipton, the old witch of York.
The what?
She.
Oh, yes. I've heard the whole story of Mother Shipton. Yeah, you told me.
Yeah, Yeah, I told you before. She turns objects into stone with a wishing well water. It's just about just the way that white thing is. It's just behind, just on left there on the other side of the river, and
Wow.
that is the famous bridge. If it falls down, which Mother Shipton predicted, that bridge there you can see. If that falls down 3 times, the world
Yeah.
will end. Yeah, and it's fallen down twice.
Wow.
So that's pretty Halloween for you, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
Famous subject.
Halloween. Good Halloween.
Yeah.
Well, I'm starting to get drunk. If you haven't noticed, I have. Okay. It's my Halloween, and I am a storyteller. I have been telling stories since I was wee high to a grasshopper. And it's my Halloween show, and right now I'm going to tell a story. Just to do that. There we go. Okay. I was going to do this in the show, and I changed my mind. So I'm going to do it here tonight for you. 'Twas a balmy summer evening, and a goodly crowd was there that nigh filled Joe's barroom on the corner of the square. As toasts and witty stories came through the open door, a vagabond crept slowly in and paused upon the floor. "Where did it come from?" someone said. "Why, the wind did blow it in." "Well, what does it want?" cried another. "So whiskey, Robert Zip. Sick him, Toby. If your stomach's equal to the work, why, I wouldn't touch him with a fork. He's filthy as a Turk." Now the vagabond took this badinage with historical good grace. In fact, he even smiled as though he had struck the proper place. "Come, there must be kind hearts in such a goodly crowd. Why, to be in such good company would make a deacon proud. Give me a drink. That's what I want. For I'm out of funds, you know. But when I had the dough to treat the gang, this hand was never slow. Oh, you laugh, as though this hand had never held a sou? I was once fixed as well, my boys, as any one of you. Oh, barkeep, thanks. That braced me nicely. God bless you one and all, and the next time I pass this good saloon, I'll make another call. Give you a song? Oh, I can't do that. Me singing days are past. Me throat is worn, my voice is cracked. And my lungs, they're going fast. But if you'll give me another whiskey, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll tell you a funny story with a fact. I promise too. Oh, thank you. You see, I was once a painter. Not one that dabbles on bricks and wood, but an artist. And for my age, it was counted pretty good. I once did a portrait. It was called The Chase of Fame. It brought me 1,500 pounds and added to my name. Then there came the woman. Yeah. Now here's the funny part. With eyes that petrified me brain and sunk into my heart. Have you ever seen a woman for whom your soul you'd give? With a form like the Venus de Milo, too beautiful to live. With eyes that beat the iron ore and a wealth of chestnut hair? If so, it was she. For there never was one half so fair. I know you think it's strange that the vagabond you see could ever love a woman and expect her love for me, but was so. And for a while, her love was freely given. Oh, and when her loving lips touched mine, it carried me off to heaven. I was working on a portrait one lovely day in May of a fair-haired friend of mine that lived across the way. Oh, Madeline. She admired it and said to my surprise she'd like to know the man that had such dreamy eyes. Well, didn't take her long to know him. And before the month had flown, my friend had stole me, darling. And I was left alone. Oh, what's the matter, friend? I didn't see you smile. I thought you'd be amused and laughing all the while. Oh, what's the matter, friend? Is that a teardrop in your eye? Oh, come. Laugh like me! 'Tis only women and babes that should cry. Barkeep, if you give me another whiskey, I'd be forever glad. And I shall draw upon the barroom floor the face that drove me mad. Oh, thank you. Sick me, Toby! The chalk with which you keep the baseball score. And you shall see the lovely Madeline upon the barroom floor. Well, another drink and chalk in hand. The vagabond began to sketch a face that might well buy the soul of any man. But as I placed the final lock upon her shapely head, with a fearful shriek I leaped and fell across the picture, dead. Okay, guys, I did it. Now it's out there for posterity. Share it. I don't care. It's a poem that was written back in the gold mining days, And the face on the barroom floor still exists, as far as I know, in a little town called Colorado Springs, Colorado. No, not Colorado Springs. It's where the Molly Brown mine is. Um, Cripple Creek, Colorado. Cripple Creek, Colorado. It's still there. Okay. And okay. So y'all
What do you think? Look,
huh?
I went mute so I could listen to you.
So what'd you think of my story, Navi?
It's fantastic. It was like really like history, wasn't it?
Yes, it is a true story. It's a true story about a man who, I mean, it's a poem that was written after he died, of course, and I'm sure it was embellished on a bit. But I've actually been to Joe's Bar in Cripple Creek, Colorado. They have a railing around the face now. It got worn. For years, it didn't have people walked over it. And they finally put a railing around it when the poem was written. And they sell the poem on a postcard there at Cripple Creek, Colorado. And I got the postcard and memorized it. And I needed to do, when I was in college, for my drama class, I needed to do a final. And that was the story that I chose to do as my final. And of course, I did it with all the props and the extra people in the bar. I did it with a barroom scene because it had to be a complete final. I was doing costume, set design, uh, uh, direction, uh, makeup, and theatrical ability and production all at the same time. I had missed all my finals because I was in the hospital. So instead of doing a final in each of those classes, I combined all the finals into one final, and my teachers, professors, uh, agreed to see my final all together, and each of them judged me on each aspect of the final. So I had to have something that was all inclusive, and so I did Face on the Barroom Floor. And at the very end of it, the light goes down, the spotlight, and then when the spotlight comes back up, I'm in uh, a black robe, hooded black robe, okay, with a blacked out face. And when I say yes, I leaped and fell as I slowly walked across the stage, across the picture, dead. Kind of a Grim Reaper look when I come back up and the light comes on. It was a quick change costume thing that I did with it because I had a class in costuming. I had a class in makeup. I had a class in set design. I had a class in production. I had a class in direction. I had a class in diction. Okay. And I had a class in drama. So, by combining all those, because I'd been in the hospital for like 2 weeks and I'd missed every single final, and I begged with the college to please let me incorporate every single class into one performance and do it for my final and be judged on every aspect. And I passed with flying colors. I got an A in everything, so I was happy. And yeah, you know, and to get an opportunity in this late in life to actually have the opportunity to perhaps have a show, a weekly show, if not a bi-weekly show in Branson, Missouri, that I get to produce and perform in. Okay.
Is that where you live, Missouri? Then
Huh?
Is that your hometown, Missouri?
Yes.
All right. Okay.
And the thing is that I've had, my stage was a rolling stage. I entertained on a bus. Okay. I worked for Hillbilly Tours. I did Hillbilly Tours, and we booked shows for people on buses. And when the buses arrived, I would greet those buses as Cousin Jesse, the hillbilly storyteller. And all as the bus was traveling down, because I know everything about this town. I know who's been in what theater, who's moved to that theater, when did that theater get built. When I've been here for 68 years, over off and on. Okay,
Yeah.
my folks used to fish down here a lot, so and I've claimed it as my home. And I was a street character. Okay, at Silver Dollar City, I was a tour guide and a street character, somebody who made jokes and laughed with people and made people smile, and that was my character. And then we would, then I was working as Agnes P. Rutherford, Internal Revenue Service. I'm here to arrest all you folks for sipping and sampling on this here sign. I played Agnes P. Rutherford it was for the moonshine. It was a one-person moonshine still show. When the trams would come by, it was a show between the tram driver and me, and I did that for a year or two as the Internal Revenue Service one-person act all day long, 7 days, 6 days a week sometimes. I'm a street character. I walk around the streets and I make people happy, and I tell them directions and where to go, and what to go see, and what's really good and what's really not really expensive, not worth it. I mean, I'm pretty honest. That's the problem, is I'm real honest. And
I've got a picture of me there at our chaos in black and white, but it's that small you can't even see it. I'm trying to make
let me bring it back up. Okay.
It's amazing I actually found one, but it won't. Oh, there you go. It does let me stretch it. There you go.
Okay. Oh, wow. Oh, how cool is that?
Yeah, I'm the dude with the archway over his head and a big helmet on.
Okay.
That's us, our chaos troupe. If you look into our chaos, you'll find some videos about, and you'll see what we're about. We wheelie motorbikes through big tents and things. I had a BMW R80. I used to wheelie through that tent behind you. You see that tent behind you, behind the photograph.
And how old were you then? How old were you then, Nami?
89, so I've been 26. But I was with them between.
Oh, you were just a young man.
23 and 28, I think I was with them for about 4 years, because they returned back to France again, because it's a French troupe originally, but they stayed in France with us for about 3 years. And we did Battersea Power Station, massive tent we had for that.
How cool is that?
And there were lots of
what a great idea.
A friend of mine that I ended up knocking
That's
off
cool.
was a bird called Madame Chalet or something. She's a female world record holder for sword swallowing. So she were a quite interesting person. I'll see if I move the picture.
Well, I'm going to have fun. Yeah.
It might go big.
You know how I say everything happens for a reason? Yeah. Beautiful picture.
Okay.
Yeah.
That tent's massive. It really
wow.
Is massive, that tent.
I can see how massive that is.
We can do 70 miles an hour down that tent on bikes on back wheels, so it's at least probably 400 foot long, plus the size of the front that you can see.
Wow.
We'd drive motorbikes through it at 60 mile an hour. And there'd be like 20 of us driving
wow.
big motorbikes through it as well. With people on backs all swapping and stuff. Mad.
You must have had a lot of fun.
Yeah, I did. I always have fun. That's why I'm always laughing. I think, you know, it's like you just got to laugh, really, haven't you? Otherwise, it's not worth it.
Well, I've been at this an hour now.
I worked in for burns victims for 4 years back in the very late 80s, and that was a horrendous things you saw there, if you know what I mean, Mona.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it's a lifetime job. You know what I'm saying? You're not doing that for money. You're doing that for people. You know. Did that for 3 years. Then I ended up it just ended up being not human after 3 years of doing that. I don't think anybody could handle more than 3 years doing that. You know. So
In
fun
what?
is the main thing.
Oh. Yeah, 4 years of that was probably pretty hectic.
It was awful. Yeah. I went through all through Europe to a place in Chamonix, which was a burns units all around Europe. On not even on a passport. I had an emergency.
Well, that's
passport.
why. Well, I am not going to. Oh, just a moment, guys. I've got to look at this message. I have a message here. Oh, asking about food. Okay. Somebody's asking me in Facebook what this is all about, and I'm answering them just my party. Okay. And they can tune in or not tune in, you know. Then somebody was asking me about salad. I needed to answer them. They're asking about the food and that sort of thing. Okay. Because he's asking about what kind of salad. And I'm saying, well, you know, salad, I don't care. And don't ask me right now. You see, what she doesn't know is I nearly got half of a half pint down my gullet. And I'm about ready to finish it off.
Remember to drink some liquids though. Have some water or tea. That's one of the metal clowns in our chaos. That dude there on Pushbike, who was brilliant on BMXs.
I have about a half a shot left. Okay, to say goodnight with, but yeah. I love you, Mother. I know that you're here somewhere. And I know if I got the camera out, I'd probably find you. But
What's your mother's name? I'll have a cup of tea.
It's okay.
Her name.
My mom's name was Wanda Joe.
Hang on a minute. I don't know how to get rid of all these things on here.
She was a Landreth.
There
Okay?
you go.
She was English. My great-great-great-grandfather was Lord Stephen Albert of England.
Oh, crikey, what's going on with that? It's all magnified.
We may have relation, Nobby. The Landreth family was very prolific. We had a family reunion one time, and we had 300 living relatives at the family reunion. That's the ones that showed up. What are you doing?
I'm going to give.
I see your hand.
To whatever your mum's name is, I'll have the drink to your mum.
Oh, okay. Well, here's my last drink. Okay, I got one last swallow. Yeah, that's got a last swallow there. I gotta have a little salt. Okay, gotta have a little salt. Okay, you ain't drinking Jose Cuervo right if you don't get a little salt. Okay, gotta get the lid off of the lemon. Lime's better, but I didn't have any lime, but I had lemon, so it'll work. Anyway, so God bless you. May the year ahead be greater than the year that's passed. Better. I got a feeling it's going to get worse, but may it be better. To you, Dobby, and to live stream, and all everybody, love you.
I don't know. That screen doesn't look the same as what I'm looking at. Is that it?
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that's over. It's not something I look forward to, but it's tradition. I love my mother dearly. And when my mother passed away, I miss her. I was fortunate enough to have a sober mother. After my father passed away, my mother quit drinking all the time. But most of my memory to find her sitting on a bar stool. If I needed her, I always knew where she was. I could always find her. She was either going to be at the Bigger Jigger or the Gladstone Bar. Now, both of those are about a mile and a half apart, but I was pretty good on a bicycle. I was pretty good on a footlack, too. And I could always find my mother. And she always fed me. Don't get me wrong, my mama fed me. And she was a great mother until my daddy up and sold her a house on an acre of land with her garden and her beautiful picture window and everything she ever dreamed of, her hardwood floors. He up and sold it, or returned it to the seller and moved her into a third floor, dilapidated apartment, 6 complex apartment in the middle of Kansas City, Missouri. And my mama went berserk. And my mama spent the rest of her life until the day my father died, drinking a can of beer after her first cup of coffee. So, my mama was a drunk. But my mama loved Halloween. And mama always made Halloween special. And the best costume she ever made me was a witch's costume, which I was a witch every year from the time I was 5 until I was 55. right? When I decided to do something else. But my mama always made sure there was a Halloween party and that I was going to have a good time, whether it was something she put together or it was something somebody else in the family put together. Right? We always celebrated Halloween. So on Halloween morning, 2006, I was in jail for shooting the lock off of my own damn door in the county. Yeah, if I'd have been. The only reason I was in jail is because the prosecuting attorney was a gun collector and he wanted my Browning 22, and the only way he's going to get his hands on it is get me convicted of a felony. Right? There wasn't a judge in the county going to take the case, so he had to get a judge out of retirement to hear my case so that he could get his hands on my Browning 22. Okay? German made.
Is he
And
still alive then? Is that judge
I
still
did 90
alive?
days in jail. Okay?
Is he,
But while I
is he
was
still
in
alive, that
jail,
dude?
in order to go to jail, huh?
Is he still alive, that judge?
He was the prosecuting attorney. He had been caught 3 times with cocaine, but the
Yeah.
prosecuting
Yeah.
attorney's above the law. Don't you know that? He has to prosecute himself. All right,
I
and he
know
didn't
about
do
him,
it.
yeah.
Anyway, long story short, I ended up with 90 days in jail. My mama was under hospice care. In order to go to jail, I was forced to move my mother into a nursing home. Okay? Because I couldn't get my brother. I only had one brother, and he would not take care of my mother for 90 days so she could stay in her home. So I ended up was forced to put my mother in a nursing home. 10 days prior to Halloween, hospice managed to get the judge to agree to allow me out of the jail for 3 days. My cousin and I drove down and spent 3 days singing gospel, the entire hymnal, or actually it was the book of song, Country Boy, Sing Your Heart Out, Country Boy. We sang every song in the book to my mother while we enjoyed Kahlua and cream with her. And we sang to her and had a good time for 3 days. Then I had to go back to jail. Well, 3 or 4 days later, it was Halloween. I had planned a big Halloween party in the jail. I had money on my books because I'm an artist, and every guard in the place bought my artwork. So I had plenty of money on my things. I was going to have a Halloween party. I even got the jail to Halloween 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 on the TV for a Halloween night. And I had games and all kinds of wonderful things for everybody to play. And at 12 noon on Halloween, they knocked on the cell door, the big cell door, the pod door, and called me out. I looked at them. I said, "My mother has died." They said, "Yes, your mother has passed away at 12 noon." I said, "I knew that. That was the only way she could come to my party. She had to die before she could come to my party." And I went back in. Well, long story short, that evening we had a great party, and I was laying down watching Halloween. I think I was watching Halloween 4. And next thing I know, I wake up in my cell and I got all these girls around me, nurses around me, guards around me, in a little 4x6 cell. This place is little, and it's got 2 bunk beds and a table, and it's on 4x6, and a toilet, and they's all in there. The whole pod is in there because apparently I had a stress seizure while I was laying on the floor watching Halloween 4. I had a stress seizure. Anyway, that night that they told me that the judge wasn't going to let me out. My mom was going to have to sit on ice for another 26 days or something. Anyway, that evening they locked us up in the cell, 10 o'clock, lights out, door slammed. And here comes the guard. She unlocks the gate, the door. She says, come with us, Mom. We're locking your cell. Nobody's getting in your cell while you're gone. Their cell is locked. Okay. So I left. They dressed me out, and I went down to the sheriff's office. And I walked into the sheriff's office, dressed out and ready to vacate, whatever. And the sheriff looked at me and he said, Mona, you've had a nervous breakdown, and I've had to put you in solitary confinement for the next 10 days. You go home and you take care of your mother. Screw that judge. You don't belong in here anyway. You go take care of your mama. He says, and the thing is in 10 days, I expect your ass to be right there in that cell. Do you understand me? I said, yes, sir. No problem. And I called my cousin, and she come pick me up, and we came down to Brinson, and I collected my mama's remains, and I scattered her to the sea, or the lake, the river. Mama liked the river. Scattered her to the river, and I had a good goodbye. And then I came back, and I came back early. Yep. I was tired. I came by and I called him. I said, is it okay if I come back in early? Yeah, they never searched me. And I knew they wouldn't. I was coming back in early after taking care of my mama's remains, having her cremated and scattered and all that good stuff. Taking care of her personals in the last 10 days. I was tired. And all I wanted to do is go to my cell, so they never bothered to search me. Just dressed me out and let me go to my room. I wasn't a threat. Okay? That's the way you do it, see?
Yeah, and that's what happens when your governments and your politicians become sovereign. They become sovereign above the people and the citizens of the people, and they end up hating the people and they end up setting people up.
Your thing is, I put a bullet in the right below the deadbolt, right above the deadbolt in my door.
We all know, Mona, that you did bugger all.
And I did a bullet. I did a bullet between the below the doorknob. I was hoping to break the integrity of the door.
Mona,
it was cheaper to replace the door than it was to replace the door jamb. Okay? Yeah. All I wanted to do was gain access into my home because my keys were in the bottom of the Flint River somewhere. I just come off of a 300-mile canoe trip, and somebody had told me they'd up and locked 2 German Shepherd dogs inside my house since the day I left.
What?
I wanted to get access to my home. Brand new home. They destroyed it. I mean, literally destroyed it. They taped the toilet seat up, throwed a 100-pound sack of dog food once a month on the floor of the kitchen, and locked the doors. The dogs had ruined my brand spanking new fortress home.
Did they empty the rubbish out into your beds like they do over here?
And they locked the door. My doors had never been locked. But my key to that door was laying. I tipped the canoe over one time, okay? And my keys was laying somewhere in the bottom of the Flint River. And when I got home, when I left, I had 32 beautiful setting hens and 4 roosters and 32 pullets. When I returned home, I had less than 30 chickens, period.
Yep.
And they were just skin stretched over bones.
Did you have 32 chickens and 32 less bullets by any chance?
And while I was in the chicken yard, one of the banty roosters jumped up with 3-inch thorns and flogged me right in the middle of the damn back. I went over, got my 22 and loaded it, and I chased that damn rooster all the way down to the pond, shooting between his legs. Right? After
Anyway,
he
Mona,
did that.
Mona, you go full screen, yeah, and I'll show you something in StreamYard.
Okay.
Go full screen. I'll show you what's in this box. So I don't want to show it on YouTube.
Trying. I don't know how to do that.
No, you go full screen. You've done it before. You go full screen yourself.
Okay, now I see.
And then you can see me in StreamYard.
This is my first time, dear.
There you go. Yeah. Now you can see me in StreamYard in the bottom corner.
Yeah.
Can you see me? Yeah.
Yes.
This is mine. This is my one.
Very good.
Yeah. For people like that.
Yeah. Very good.
The jump when you shoot.
Okay, put it down. I'm gonna bring you back up. Okay, put it down. I'm gonna bring you back up.
No, don't bring me back up yet, because I have to box it back up again.
Okay.
And it's right next to my microphone. There you go.
Yeah, okay. Let me make it smaller now because I made it great big so I can see. Okay, I'm gonna bring you back up now. You know, I'm drunk. I have polished off this half-pint tequila. My glass.
Oh yeah, there's a link there.
It's empty.
It's uploading at the moment. It might take an hour or two because it's in 4K.
And
I'm put that on YouTube because it's my YouTube link.
for anybody that goes by and decides to watch this later, okay, I'm gonna make it full screen here for a minute. Okay, guys, not very many people came in tonight while we were doing this live, but hopefully folks will watch it and share it and enjoy it. I hope you enjoyed the story. I hope they enjoy the fact that this is me totally plastered. You're only going to see it twice a year. I promise you. I don't do it because I like it. I do it because it's the memory of my mother, okay? I'm trying to create a memory here of my mom. Okay, it's Halloween.
Yeah.
Trick or treat. And by the way, guys, well, my little hello, been eating candy. I like sweet meat. Yeah, sweet meat. Eat your candy. Eat your candy. Sweet big tender child. Ooh, I love it. Ooh. Eat your candy. Okay. A little bit of Hagatha the Witch. That's my name, Hagatha. When I was a witch, I was Hagatha. Well, you little dearest, Have you been eating candy? Ooh. Most children would say, no, I can't eat the candy till I get home. My mother won't let me. But when you're hunting a haunted porch, you make sure there's one person who eats their candy right away. Yes, that's the one that gets taken away. Please, Igor, baked head of child for dinner. Sweet ham. Yes. And you get the cops called on you. Because your haunted house porch is too scary for little children. But you were smart. You put it in the paper that the porch on Oak Street might be too scary for some children. You might want to avoid it. It said it in the paper. So when the police were called, because it was too scary, and he stood in the yard, because he had to come see, he knew it was me, and he had to come see what I had done. And as he stood in the yard, I threw a fireball at him that went out right at his nose. And I went, Win, how have you been eating candy? He said there'd been 3 complaints at the police station that my porch was too scary. Well, I didn't want children to eat their candy till they got home and got it inspected. But if they ate their candy right away, ooh. And I really did. I had a shield. I had a young lady that was dressed in a costume that'd make her way into every group that the Grim Reaper would let in, because he let them in on the porch as a group. And I had a curtain there. And when I'd pass out the candy, and they'd tell me, no, we got to wait till we get home. You know, my parents got to inspect it, whatever. And then I'd get to Rachel, and she wouldn't have a bag. I said, where's your bag, Marjorie? Oh, I don't need a bag. I eat my candy as soon as I get it. So you've been eating candy? Ah! I reach up and ring a bell, and my Igor, my daughter, who's dressed as Igor, all burnt and molded and ugly, jumps out from behind the curtain, grabs Rachel around underneath the arms, and drags her away. The kids run. And as they run, underneath a pile of leaves in a big old Gaylord bag is my neighbor boy, and he got pantyhose, looks like he's been burnt, and he's reaching out towards their legs. And the Grim Reaper standing in the doorway, kind of blocking their way out, and they're running. Okay, they're running out. And it is funnier than all get out. We're laughing our tails off back on the porch. But Rachel has jumped over the railing, and she's gone around the back of the house next door and has worked her way into the next group of trick-or-treaters that's coming into the haunted porch. Now, at the front of the haunted porch, you find the Grim Reaper in the graveyard. You see the big pile of leaves. That's all you see as you walk in and come up on the porch. And your back is to a black curtain. That behind that black curtain lies Igor, waiting for the signal. And I'm there as the witch Hagatha, stirring my cauldron pot of dry ice and smoke and everything else. And I can throw fireballs. I have flesh powder and a way to light it. And I throw fireballs out of my fingertips with long nails. My nails are 3 and 4 inches, squirrely long nails, and my nose is way out here, and I have a chin and a mole, and I stink. I smell like an old haggerty witch. And I'm going, well, welcome, my little dearie. Well, so you've come for candy, huh? Well, Have you been eating candy? Well, here's some candy. Oh, have you been eating candy? Oh, have you been eating candy? Yes. I eat my candy as soon as I get it. I don't need a bag. I like to eat the candy as I go. Oh, so you've been eating candy, huh? Yeah, and it starts all over again. And as they leave, like I said, there's this big bag, plastic bag. You can't tell it's a plastic bag. It just looks like a pile of leaves. And underneath it, my neighbor boy, I put pantyhose on him and made it look like burnt flesh coming off in his face. And he's crawling out on the sidewalk towards them as they're running off the sidewalk. I got a dome over the sidewalk like you get from a funeral home. Yeah, and a graveyard over here and a Grim Reaper in the front. Oh my God. Yeah, kids were pissing their pants. Okay.
You're lucky in America. You've got the choice. You've either got trick or treat. We've got mischievous night on the 4th of November.
Oh,
Whereas kids just go out and be mischievous, whether they like it or not.
yeah, I know what we do.
Putting fireworks through people's legs.
We used to do that at Halloween. Oh, 1 year, my cousin was sitting in the barber shop and he heard the neighbor. We had a cantankerous old neighbor. I mean, he was a cantankerous old man. Nobody could get along with him. Anyway, my cousin is sitting in the barber shop and the same time he is, and he's talking about ain't nobody turning over my outhouse this year. Okay? Nobody's turning over my outhouse this year because I will be sitting in it with a shotgun. Yeah, well, that was a signal. You see, the boys went over like the night before or 2 nights before, and his outhouse set over a ledge, okay? So he didn't have to dig a hole. It just went down the side of the hill, and it was up on stilts. So the boys went over and sawed through the legs, where it was only going to take a hatchet move to drop both legs out from underneath it. And it had wires that went to the house that held it up, cable wire. He was sitting in it all right. Yeah, he fired off his shotgun as he rolled down the hill in his outhouse. I remember that one. And then 1 year he was still being cantankerous, still being a really gripey person. And he went to bed, and the next morning when he woke up, his hay wagon, yeah, with the hay in it, was sitting on top of his barn. Yeah, we did that. Took that whole damn hay wagon apart, lifted it up with ropes, and put the whole damn thing back together and put the hay back in it. But when he got up the next morning, his hay wagon was sitting on top of the peak of his barn. Woo!
We had this miserable old man as a neighbour when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And we used to call him bloody bugger off. Because every time we went into his garden, he used to shout at us, bloody bugger off. It was so miserable, he couldn't believe.
There was this lady in Richmond, Missouri. She had this really, really, really nice Victorian house on the corner. And my girlfriend Patty, her house went one way and my house went the other way. So we would stop on her corner walking home from school to finish our conversation. She would come out and yell at us to get off of her corner and blah, blah, blah. And then one day, Patty's little sister Kathy had got her a big wheel for her birthday, and she was riding the big wheel up and down the sidewalk right in front of this lady's house. And this lady came out and turned the water system on purposely so that Kathy couldn't ride her big wheel up and down the sidewalk. And Kathy was only 3 years old. Anyway, it pissed me off big time. Well, this lady in this beautiful Victorian house was a rose person. She raised beautiful championship roses and hybrid roses in her backyard. So on Halloween, we saved up our allowances and we went and bought table salt. And we put the word bitch in about 3-foot letters in her beautiful zoysia grass lawn with salt. And then we went back to her her rose bed, and we poured salt on every single rose bush and left. You know what? It wasn't for long. That beautiful grass said bitch right in it. And her roses all died. And she called somebody out to resod her yard, and they resodded her yard. About 3 weeks later, it said bitch in great big letters in her beautiful terraced lawn. I think you screwed with the wrong damn person. Okay? You should let the little kid ride her little Hot Wheel up and down the sidewalk. Okay? You didn't have to be an asshole. And you didn't have to stand there and scream at Patty and I simply because we stopped on a corner to finish a conversation before going home. You didn't have to be a bitch. But because you are a bitch,
there as he used to come out of his house, especially just to have a go at us.
We're going to brand you as one. It took her over 10 years to get the word bitch out of her front yard. Okay? I spent over $100 on table salt. And at that time, table salt was 10 cents a carton. Okay? And I spent over $100 on table salt. She was never able to grow another rose in her garden. Ever. It was over. Don't screw with me.
I bet she didn't have any sons or daughters.
Huh?
Did she have any sons or daughters?
I couldn't hear you. My heater turned on just as you was talking.
Did that old crabby woman have sons or daughters, her family living with her? Or was she just an old, on her own type person?
She was just an old widow woman that just she hated the world and the world around her. Okay, the only thing she had going for her was her rose garden and her prize-winning roses. Okay, and they were gone. Okay, I was done. Okay, I'm sorry. I was stuck in California at the time because my dad worked out there, and I wasn't used to those kind of people. Not at all. I mean, every place where I went, people waved at you on their porch. You know, everybody knew everybody by their name. They knew each other. And I was suddenly at 12 years old shoved out into the streets of Richmond, California, San Francisco Bay Area. And I was like totally lost. I mean, I was a hillbilly girl and I was a Bible thumper. Of all things to have in the San Francisco Bay Area, it's a Bible thumper. And I was. I mean, I was church 8 times a week. Okay. I was at prayer meetings till 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning and getting up and going to school at 6 o'clock. I was I was a holy roller, holiness, church going Christian. And I was a naughty girl on the side. Okay, very naughty girl on the side. So, but I was a hippie from the 60s. I was a pot smoking, hippie loving. I went to the airport and passed out carnation flowers to Vietnam vets as they was coming off the ship. It was totally uncouth. At that time, they thought they were baby killers, and I was supporting all the Vietnam vets. They come off the ship. I was there. I was there to hand them an artificial carnation made of toilet paper, but it was made with love. And
Back in '76, when I was 13, I was protesting you lot at Menwithil camp in Harrogate. It's an American war base, and it's just a few miles up the road from me.
yeah, well, my brother was in the Navy. My brother Merle was in the Navy, and he was stationed on the USS Galveston out of Texas. I was in the San Francisco Bay Area. I could not meet my brother's ship when it came into port. So I made a point of meeting every single ship that came into Alameda Naval Air Station. Every ship that came in, I met the Enterprise. I met the Oriskany. I met the several battleships. I met whenever a disembarked from a ship, there was a 12-year-old little girl standing right there to hand them a carnation made of toilet paper that said "Welcome home." Because I couldn't meet my brother's ship, I met every ship that came into Alameda. In fact, ended up with a boyfriend by the name of Dennis Schertzinger. He was a Navy boy, and I met him at a church service, and we ended up dating, and he went to sea, and all of his friends, and he worked in the galley on the USS Oriskany, and all of his friends were from the Philippines. So it was Fleet Week in San Francisco. And I met up with Dennis, and he had all of his Filipino friends who their wives and girlfriends were in the Philippines. And we all went to Fleet Week together. And the thing about it is that Charlie Pride was at Pier 6. He was the entertainer for the Fleet Week festivities. And there I was with, I believe it was 13 sailors dressed in beautiful dress blues, looking really sharp. And I'm sitting on the front row, and I'm the only woman on the front row, the only girl, female. Charlie Pride came down off of the stage and took me up on stage and danced Crystal Chandeliers with me. Okay. I felt like a queen amongst queens. I had all these beautiful sailors escorting me everywhere. They treated me like a queen. No one ever got out of hand whatsoever. Wonderful Filipino people. I love them to pieces. There was the one that stands out in my mind is Sukatan and Belvedere. There were two of them. We used to write letters using cassette tapes. And I'd send a cassette tape letter to Dennis, and Dennis would share it with everybody in the bay. So veterans have been special to me, or people serving our country have been special to me since I can remember. My very first boyfriend, a man by the name of Kim.
I've just been looking at that Alameda place. It looks right naval, doesn't it?
Yeah. My friend Kenny Schomer, he was in a band with my dad. And I was 12 years old, and I had such an infatuation with Kenny Schomer. I just thought he walked on water. And he got drafted in the Vietnam War. And I remember us going to send him off. And I remember the opportunity to sit in his lap. And the thought that someone that I really cared that much about was over there. And then my brother went in the Navy. And so I had a lot of friends that was involved, and people I really, really care about. Okay. I mean, Kenny Schomer and the Schomer family have been part of my life forever. And Kenny has met a woman and fallen in love. And I mean, it was a childhood infatuation. I was 12 years old. He was 18, but you know, I had that childhood affection for him. But he was over there and he was in the thick of it. And my brother was in the thick of it. And I I mean, I went in after I mean, at 15, I met a man that had 4 children that desperately needed a mother. So I became their mother and married the man. And then when we divorced, I went in the service, but it was during peacetime. It was 1981, 82, peacetime. I'm still a veteran because I signed a blank check, but uh, uh, my whole, and then my dad, he couldn't be a vet because Bonnie and Clyde ran over him when he was 12 years old and broke his leg really bad. So he was 4F, but he went in the CCs. But my adopted dad, after my dad died, I found me another dad. He served in World War II. And my brother from him, brother of another mother, because Donna is my mother now. My mom told me so. And JR was my brother, and he served in Germany as a truck driver. And I admire my vets in my life, and I've been the morale officer. This will be my 20th year serving as Branson's morale officer. I do it with pride, dignity, and you can't buy one of them hugs. Those hugs I get every year, and I've had as many as 3,000 and 4,000 hugs in a season, in a Veterans Week. I've come home with my shoulders and arms aching so bad I've had to ice them and heat them and rub them down with liniment because I hug every vet as though he's my son. And I welcome him home as though he or she is my son or my daughter. And I do it with all the affection and the emotion that goes along with that. And by the end of the week, I'm usually very sore. My arms have been through an exponential exercise in hugging. But you can't buy one of those hugs from me. Those hugs mean something so special. I have one man who came every year in a wheelchair, and he searched me out to find my hug, and I'd give him his hug. A few years back, his wife came without him, and I found out that he had passed away. But on his vest, he had embossed a picture of me hugging him in his wheelchair from years back. And she said to me, I come to get his hug. He came every year just to get your hug, and I'm here to get his hug. And I'm sorry, it was a boohoo
There's a
moment.
t-shirt with picture of him in as well.
Huh?
With picture of him as well.
Oh, I kind of froze. I looked froze. Oh, I'm not now. All right. Anyway, he was, and the fact that I had planned this whole thing for the 4th, which would have kept me out of the Veterans Village, and it happening that things didn't go right and we ended up not doing it till the 8th, leaves me the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th to go hug my vets. I love them, and I really, really appreciate them, and they'll ever know. And to think that I can invite them to my first live production stage show is so thrilling. It's been 20 years. I've been their morale officer for 20 years. And many of them had been back year after year after year for over the last 20 years. So I thoroughly look forward to having a sold out show every seat with a body in it. And I'm going to try my best to produce and perform in the greatest show that they'll see in Branson this year. Will be the Cousin Jesse Hootenanny show. It's all about my country, my God, and my friends. So the Lord's going to have to grant me vocal cords, huh?
What's the story about? Was it Bonnie and Clyde you mentioned?
Yeah. Well,
I thought it
when
was
my
about that.
dad was 10 years old, he was the paper man, the paper boy for
Okay.
in Lynchville, Arkansas. And Bonnie and Clyde had robbed the bank, and as they was getting away, he was crossing the street, and they hit him.
Okay.
Huh?
Right.
Yeah, yeah. They hit him and broke his leg really bad, and they ended up having to put a metal pin in his leg.
Crikey.
Yeah.
I thought maybe Bonnie and Clyde just later on or something and knocked him over, but not during the crime.
Yeah, no, they had robbed the bank of Leachville, Arkansas, and were getting away, and he was crossing the street as they was getting away, and they hit him.
Crikey.
Yeah, it's a cool story.
It is, yeah. Didn't no, Bonnie and Clyde got shot in a house or somewhere, didn't they? Get blown to bits, didn't they, or something? Or did they get blown to bits in their car? Can't remember.
Yeah, they got blown to bits in their car with a flat tire. But
Oh, yeah. So
actually,
was that the same car? Not your family with a friend over.
their friend had a flat tire, which was a fake flat tire. So they pulled over to help their friend with his flat tire when it was a setup, and the
Oh,
cops opened fire on Bonnie and Clyde and killed them.
okay. All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
So
Do you write
and
a lot?
another funny story of my family is I have in my family the first recorded crossdresser.
What, it dressed as crosses, did he? Or she?
My great 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 grandfather got caught in the north behind enemy lines, and he stole a woman's dress and corset and everything and dressed up as a woman to get on the train and go back south. And when he reported for duty, he was wearing women's clothing. That's what's recorded. Huh?
In 1800s or something.
Yeah. It was back during the Civil War.
I thought it was Civil War.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was it Yankee Doodle go to where?
Yeah, he went down in history as the first,
about that one.
first American cross-dresser because it shows right in his military record that he reported for duty wearing women's clothing. Well, he had to get incog in order to come back across the enemy lines, And then on the Landreth side of the family, we found out that we were royalty. My great 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 grandfather was Lord Stephen Albert of England.
Well, you're not related to King Biden then. Obama and
No.
King Obama.
No. And You know, it's kind of like the speech I'm giving all of my people on the 8th, is that Missouri is a constitutional, open carry, Second Amendment state. Please do.
Yeah.
I'd rather be in a theater with 1,000 armed patriots than in a theater with just one armed terrorist, you know? They've left our border wide open.
Well, you'll find that documentary I've given you a link for in private chat pretty interesting there.
I can get to private chat.
Can't get to it. In StreamYard on top right, there's sites for free login, then private chat. And
there it is.
Private
I
chat.
found it.
Yeah. There's two quite interesting ones there. The top one you can listen to in your car.
I found it.
You don't need to watch it, if you know what I'm saying. It's more like a documentary. But it's quite long.
Okay.
It took me a day and a half to listen to it. I don't know. But there's about 4 points that I found pretty.
I got it up so I can listen to it.
Pretty novel.
I fear I've been watching that's been coming across the border here.
Yeah.
Oh, a whole bunch of them last night.
And are we allowed to speak about this on YouTube though?
Huh?
Are we allowed to talk about it on YouTube? I don't think so.
I know. I think about all that, you know?
Is there anybody in chat on YouTube anyway? Let's all look. Is there anybody in chat? Oh, yeah, focus. There's somebody just here now. Hey up, how are you doing? So there is somebody in chat.
I don't see anybody.
Focus.
Just you.
Focus.
Larry was there a while back.
It must have just come in because I've just put them posts in, them 2 posts on YouTube. Which that second one I watched this afternoon, it was Adam's Family Halloween special. It was brilliant.
Well, Bolox is here. Hello.
How do you pronounce it?
Volcox, whatever. By the way, if you want to join us in panel, it's up on the screen. It's up at the top, pinned. You know, Dobby, I'm drunk.
Well, it's 2 minutes to 4 here, so it's pretty late. I'm pretty early. I'm dying for another drink as well. I'm dry as a bone at the moment.
Well, I don't have any more. That's all I had. I figured if I finished it, I would be polluted. A little over a half pint for somebody who doesn't drink but 2 days a year is quite a bit. Okay.
Yeah. I only drink when there's a celebration going on, you know. I don't drink at all, really.
Yeah. Well, I drink 2 days a year. You can time it. Okay.
4 for me. I have a beer on grass when I'm playing the guitar, but I don't get drunk, you know.
Yeah. And yeah, I have had a glass of wine periodically in the year.
4 hours.
I have had a glass of wine, but that's been for medicinal purposes, you know.
Wine I put in my food. I love wine with burgers and things like that, and putting them in meat dishes.
Yeah, well, I don't drink wine very often, but occasionally my blood count gets low, and I need some wine to help build up my blood. And that's for medicinal purposes and not for enjoying the alcoholic effect. Okay. I don't drink. Okay. My mama was drunk, which made me not like alcohol. Okay. At all. Okay.
What I see in England is all the drunks seem to be British UK. You know, they're all
Well,
fucked.
the thing is my mother was a wonderful human being until she got that first beer down her gullet. Okay. And then she was a stupid human being. And I knew that wasn't what she was, but it was what I saw. All right. And I raised myself from the time I was 7. My mother spent her life on a bar stool, so I had to basically raise myself. But my mother always came home in time to fix my daddy dinner. Okay. And then my daddy'd go play dominoes and my mom would go drink some more at the bar. That's the way it was. And I'd go to church. My church was my solace. I went to church every night of the week that I could. And usually it was every night of the week, and twice on Sunday. Whether it was going with Youth for Christ or going to Wednesday night prayer meeting or Tuesday night choir practice, whatever. I was at the church because my mother was at the bar. And I'm very fortunate. I was raised by a community of very intellectual human beings. The caretaker at the museum, the zookeeper at the zoo, things that people that I surrounded my life with were intellectual people that I could learn from. Even on Saturday, even on, hanging out at the Vest Cola Bottling Company, I'd go down and dance for my orange soda. I'd tell a story or a joke in order to get my orange soda right from the factory. By the time I was 7, I could run every machine in that factory because they taught me. They showed me how the machines run. Just show me how they do it. Most of us stepping on a pedal and pushing a button. Well, I could step on a pedal and push a button by the time I was 6 at least. By the time I was 7, I was waiting tables every summer. I was a good waitress. And I had photographic memory, audio memory, and I could remember orders and I know where they went and who they went to. And by the time I was 7 years old, I could carry 4 lunch plates on one arm. I was good. My grandfather had a way. I always stayed with my grandparents during the summer, and my grandfather owned a restaurant, and he was a chef. And the best way of keeping his eye on his granddaughter is to have her waiting tables in his restaurant. He knew what she was doing. And she was having fun and making money while she was at it. So, I mean, I grew up at the feet of some very wise people. My grandfather Ferguson didn't die till he was 98. And for years, I sat and listened to that man tell stories. He was a storyteller and a very good one. And he told stories about working all day picking cotton for a dime. But a dime bought half a pound of bologna and a loaf of bread. It was enough to feed the family with just a dime.
Yeah.
You can't even get a sucker for a dime today. You know, my daddy and mom and dad worked all day long in the cotton fields picking cotton. For 25 cents a 100 pound. And that's lucky if they made 100 pound a day. 25 cents. When you got to pay rent and gas for the car. Well, what would you do if you had to live on 50 cents a day today?
So what was this zoo that you were talking about, Mona?
What?
The zoo connection. Did you say you were involved with the zoo? Zoo?
I couldn't hear you, honey. I'm drunk, remember?
Did you have a zoo, you were saying?
Huh?
Did you mention that you visited a zoo or something?
I'm not hearing well right now. Not hearing well. I'm getting.
Yourself up.
I'm getting
You
a
have to read it
breakup.
in the
What was you
microphone.
saying? Repeat.
Hang on. Yeah. Did you mention that you had
Oh,
a content connection with a zoo? Yeah, a
yes.
zoological
Yes,
zoo.
Yeah.
right. Yeah, I would go
That,
to the every other week I would go to Swope Park Zoo, and I would meet up
yeah.
early in the morning about 6 o'clock with the guy who did all the feeding. He was the
Yeah.
zookeeper, and
Yeah.
I would ride around with him, and I
Yeah.
would help him. I would fill the dishes and help him feed the animals. And while I was riding with him
Yeah.
or was with him, he would tell me about the animals.
Yeah.
All about them. I mean, that's what he did. That was our conversation. And with
Well,
a verbal
that's one you
Yeah.
photographic memory.
yeah,
Huh?
that's what
I
I'm
was saying,
saying. Like that's one of your intellectual people that you grow up with when you were a child. The same as me. When I was 6 through till about 12, I used to go every week to a place called Nesborough Zoo, which is only 3 miles away from Harrogate. And the zookeeper was an African African man called Nick, I think his name was. Um, he owned the zoo, and we got pally with him, and ended up seeing his one of the biggest captive lions in captivity at the time, a lion called Simba, which we used to be able to go behind and sit with Simba and just play with it like you know what I mean? And he had these massive
Yeah.
massive snakes, and very, very, very angry donkeys he had. And I was talking about this to you. This is my connection with drunken donkeys. I think I maybe joked to you before about drunken donkeys at Blackpool, but in fact, it's from these donkeys in the zoo. Every time these things were harvested, they used to eat these things, and they ended up being like newts to the donkeys and really violent. See, he taught me never to mess
Yeah.
around with
Well,
the
yeah, we
donkeys.
had yeah, with me it was the apes. I was infatuated with the great apes. And I got to where I could talk to the apes. We would visit and talk, and they brought in a new ape that they named him Big Mac. Came into the Swope Park Zoo, and I got the opportunity to be standing there when they unloaded him the first day in the zoo. And they don't forget you; they remember you.
no.
And anyway, they got a
Oh,
paddock where the great apes.
Yeah,
Well, the great apes sit out on this paddock, and of course, there's a moat, so that they don't cross the water. This one guy is out there, and he's just making fun of Big Mac, just
all right.
just taunting him. And I'm standing there, and I'm going, Mister, I wouldn't do that if I was you.
no,
And I backed off. Okay, and he kept it up. And Big Mac, sure enough, he's shitting his hand. And I mean, that
Yeah.
man had the best pitching arm. That great ape had the best pitching arm ever,
Yeah.
and he hit that man right smack dab in the middle of the chest with that pile of gorilla poop. And I'm laughing my ass off. I think I'm about 9 years old, and I'm just laughing my ass off at this man because I'm going, I told you I wouldn't do that if I was you. Okay. Because Mac was great. I mean, he had an arm on him. He could have been a major league pitcher, I swear.
yeah,
And I took my son to the zoo one day, and we had a red ape by the name of Lucinda. And my son was so enthralled because I could talk to the apes. And I looked in the thing, and Lucinda's waving at me over. They got these little personal little windows that you can go sit and look at the apes. And she went over by the little window and she motioned at me. My son's going to his class. We were there for a field trip, and he's going to, my mama talks to the apes. And I went over and sat down, and Lucinda's like, she's pointing at her teeth, going, ah, ah, and I'm going, Lucinda, you got a toothache? I said, okay, honey. And I went over and got a hold of the ape house caretaker. I said, Lucinda's got a bad tooth. She said, how do you know? I said, because you told me so. And the zookeeper was there, and he says, she probably told her so. She's been watching Lucinda since she was just a wee little baby. I said, they got a communication together. My son was so happy. He could tell his class, Mama can talk to the apes. She really can.
That's more my
But I'd
camel.
been around him for so long, you know. And I would go over to the slope park. I would spend hours and hours and hours in the ape house.
You see that camel there?
Huh?
I've got a picture of. You see the camel I've got a picture of?
Yeah.
That's Mo, the camel that I used to look
A
after.
2-hump camel.
Yeah. And what happened
Oh,
was
wow.
my girlfriend's friend came over and decided that he wanted to see our camel. So he came over to paddock and got his camera out. It was one of them like Kodak cameras, about 4 inches square, and he started taking photographs of them. And that's one of the photographs. And what the silly beggar did was just left his camera on top of the fence, and next thing I saw was Mo picking up his camera and swallowing it. So then I had to put my hands into Mo's mouth. She knew what I was doing, and I put my hand right down to the bottom of her lumpy bit at the bottom of her throat and found the camera. And thank crikey I got it out, because back in them days, them cameras had awful batteries in them. They'd have killed her.
Oh, they'd have killed her. Yeah.
Imagine you couldn't get it out and you had to phone the vet up saying you've lost the camera down your camel's throat, like. Silly, you know what I'm saying, swear word person to leave something unattended in front of an animal like that is absolutely ridiculous. Because we used to
entertain everybody.
Yeah, that camel was
Nobby, you entertain everybody for a minute. I gotta go to the tree.
If you can give me a screen share, I'm putting some music on of my music if you want.
Show some pretty pictures while I'm gone, because I gotta go to the tree.
I'll put some pictures up. Yeah, and when you come back, I'm gonna go and make a cup of tea.
Oh shit! Am I drunk? Oh.
Zed Shoopy, how are you doing? Whoever you are, wherever you are. Where are you, Zed Shoopy? Oh, there you go. Got that many things on my screen. I don't know what to drag to bring. Oh, there you go. Oh, I could do something like this. Come on, let me try this. See if this will work.
Oh.
See if this will work. Here we go. I don't think it will, but I'll give it a go. Oh, crikey, I've got to sign on everything.
Nobby, when you've been drinking tequila and you've been sitting still, you don't know how drunk you are until you get on your feet. Oh my goodness, my room is floating around in circles. I need to put something on my stomach, even if it's wrong. I am so absolutely, totally, and completely drunk. Okay? I don't know how people can function like this. You know, I've known people that get like my mother who get drunk like this every day. And I'm imagining, how in the heck do they function like this? This is so crazy. Okay. Oh, he's playing music. Okay. Oh, I gotta put something on my stomach, people. You know that you should never drink on an empty stomach. I didn't. I had a salad today. I need to eat something. And thank goodness for Pam, because they gave me these here lunch. That's crackers. And I'm going to eat it. Says you need to take a cracker, like that. On that cracker, you place a sliver of meat. And on top of that meat, you get to place a piece of cheese. Also some protein. All good for taking care of tequila. That's why they serve this stuff. Cracker, like meat, and like cheese. Now, Nobby, don't give me a strike on YouTube for that music now. I don't want a music strike. I stopped your music for a minute because I don't want a music strike. Guys, I've about gotten myself drunk enough to go to bed. Since not many people dropped in here. Nicker. Oh, Z Hoppy. Hello. First time I've seen you all in my chat. Hello. It's Halloween. It's the anniversary of my mother's passing. I'm getting drunk in her honor. Not getting drunk. I'm already drunk. I'm all excited. I'm kind of celebrating. My event's coming together really well. November the 8th through the 11th here in Branson, Missouri during Veterans Week. Make arrangements. Come on out. We line up at the old Welk Theater on 165 at 8 o'clock in the morning on the 9th. When we make our Patriot stroll around Branson, 3 rules. Fly a flag. I don't care what flag you fly, just fly a flag. Honk a horn. Follow that flag in front of you. Scream freedom and be proud to be an American. In the most patriotic city in the United States by declaration, Branson, Missouri. Veterans Week. It goes from the 5th all the way through to the 11th in the parade. We got a big stroll on the 9th. Potluck picnic at the Table Rock State Park on the 10th. Big show on the 9th at the Freedom Encounter Theater. Vets and first responders are free. Children under 12 are free too. Raising children costs lots of money. We understand that. We're a not-for-profit theater. The Freedom Encounter Theater is. We're there to please entertain and raise just enough money to keep the lights on. Okay? Get your tickets as early as you can. Only 1,900 seats in the theater. And I already got 125 of them reserved. So, I'm enjoying this here Lunchable I got for free from CAM. That's Christian Action Ministries here. God bless them. A lot of times I don't know if I'd eat if it weren't for them. I appreciate all they do. By the way, our show is sponsored by Central Bank. Congratulations. Thank you, Central Bank. We appreciate it. And the Branson Cafe. Great place to go eat. Wonderful homemade cinnamon rolls. Then there's the White River Dive Shop and RV Park. But if you want to learn to dive, learn from the best. Okay? Louis Chapman's one of the best survival swimmers, dive instructors in the area. And he runs the White River Dive Shop on 165. Check it out. Then there's the beautiful Table Rock State Park. Couldn't have done it without him. Stagecoach RV Park. That's where I live. I'm doxing myself. I don't care. I live here. I love my RV park and all it has to offer. And out of the traffic, park, state park facilities, convenience store, Hungry Hunter restaurant right here at the RV State Park. Best place to get breakfast in town. I'm telling you, it really is. They'll serve dinner. They close down around 1. But they serve the best breakfast around. That's why there's sometimes an hour waiting list. It's that good. We got a raffle coming up. Got a great big old 6-foot teddy bear. How about that? We got a beautiful leather purse, blue and maroon. Intricate leather. Bag for ladies' bag. Full leather. For the raffle table from Western Spur. From the Antique Pump, we got one of them hot air balloon whirlybirds that you hang on your porch. And it's patriotic. Yes, it is. Oh. Show tickets. Oh, honey, we got show tickets. Show tickets to the Duttons and the Platters, the Magic Show, a couple other shows too. Even got play tickets for the track. Okay, 5 ride tickets, $20 play tickets. Oh yeah, arcade tickets. Yep, the Retro Museum got tickets for that there too. Sure do. We're gonna have a lot of fun. That's the key. Have a lot of fun. Hey, I'm gonna tell you what, the stroll around Branson, that's fun. Honking horns. What's really fun is when people stand out on the sidewalk and wave at you. That makes it, yes, it's like all them people on them overpasses. When the People's Convoy passed through the overpasses, my goodness, the patriotism that flowed off of them overpasses there across this country. Oh, make your heart drop. Yeah, it would. It was wonderful. Well, not many people decided to join me here tonight. Nobby, you still there?
I don't know whether you can hear it or not. Though.
Hey, Nobby, you still there?
Yeah, I'm speaking to you now.
Oh, okay.
Can you hear me? I don't know. Yeah, I'm unmuted.
I couldn't hear you. I hear you now.
All right. I've been playing guitar for the last half an hour, I think.
Oh, Nobby, I'm drunk. I've been on here nearly over 2 hours. I'm ready to go night night. Are you waving? Where you at? Well, Nobby, I'm going back on out of here. Good night, baby.
Yeah, I need a cup of tea.
I'm waving. Are you waving?
I can't reach. I've got my guitar right around my head.
Oh. Okay. I see it. Good night, dear. I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Okay.